You are not waiting to feel ready. You are rehearsing who you've always been. You see, every time that you tell yourself, I'll show up differently when I feel confident, or I'll claim my rate when I feel like I deserve it, or I'll start when the timing is right. Look, you're not in a holding pattern when you do things like that. You are actually, your nervous system is rehearsing that system. And it's only going to get the older version of you stronger because of that rehearsal, because you're rehearsing that old version of yourself and using that emotional significant thing to make it work, then that's what's going to keep showing up. This is episode 6 of the Freelancer's Mind series, where we talk about the belief shifts that can change how you show up as a self-employed person or a solo business owner. Hi, I am Nene, and I help people become the person their goals require of them. And everything I share here is something that I have actually lived first. And what I mean by that is if you've been waiting to feel like the next version of yourself before you start acting like her, them, then I need you to hear to hear this. Because what you're waiting for is what you're actually it's what you're doing to self, because the inaction is neutral, because you're rehearsing the wrong direction. You're rehearsing the thing that you don't even want or desire, because every day you wait, you know what, you are practicing the shrinking. You're every time you're checking in and you're apologizing, or you say that you're late, or you're apologizing, you're teaching and your nervous system to get more familiar with this kind of behavior, with this kind of version of you that isn't the version that you want. And that gap doesn't close as you wait. If anything, it gets wider, right? Every time it's like, you know what, I'll just wait till like I have um I can do this thing, then I will go and do the stuff. Whereas not realizing that when you're in the trenches, when you're actually doing the thing, then you get better at it. Saying that I want to be able to like show up for self, because repeated small decisions are the reps that is needed. How you introduce yourself, how you state your rates, how you teach your nervous system, all those things is the key. So whether you're doing it the way the old version of you is doing it, or the newer version, or the version of you that you are wanting to embody, you are rehearsing that bit. Every time you say, oh, you know what, maybe later, whatever, you're just teaching your nervous system. You're creating the reps of, okay, this is how I'm going to be, and this is how I'm gonna or how I show up. Or I wait, let me just keep waiting and keep waiting. Let's everything be aligned. So that in of its own, the rehearsal of that action is what is costing the flow of what's happening, right? Because it's saying, oh, this is who I am now. And then this is the thing that then connects with it. Your nervous system learns through emotion, not logic. And once we fully understand that, we get to know that, okay, this is a deal. Because if you like ever like wanted to do something and the first emotions are, oh my gosh, I can't. Bleh. That's an emotional state of like dread, like you can feel it in your being, like, oh man, oh. So next time you want to like repping that feeling, your body's like, oh no, we didn't like that last time. Even if consciously you've moved on, your unconscious self still feels like, oh. And if it's a case of learning through the emotion, we now do the thing we want, and then we get to celebrate every rep, even no matter how small it is. I caught myself. That's one of my favorite ones, especially like when I like in that phase of like I'm in the awareness. I've decided my old version and now I'm going to the new one and I'm creeping back into the old one. I'm like, oh, I caught myself. Oh no, we don't do that anymore. Oh yeah, next. Like whatever that is, I catch myself. So celebrating that makes the nervous system, ooh, all right. We like when we catch ourselves. Okay, let's just be more mindful right now and let's just keep going in that flow and having that understanding. That is how the new identity gets encoded in ourselves. Every time after I do my videos here on YouTube or TikTok or I record anything, I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. Like I celebrate it because it's just teaching my nervous system, look, we like this stuff. And that's why we're almost 9 months in, every single day, showing up here, doing this. Because now it's encoded, embodied in us that, look, this is who we are. And it's like, it is. Because we have that awareness plus the repetition of the thing that you want creates this new identity for self. It creates this like, okay, this is familiar. This is we're used to this. This is how we show up here, and this is what we do. Than a case of like, oh my gosh, me again. I have to do this. Oh, that like that feeling. Then yeah. Ah, ah. Sorry, I'm just not distracted. I'm also live on TikTok, and somebody just made a comment about why are you talking so much about random stuff. It might sound like random stuff, but they're all connected in some way in the identity, on the beliefs underlining the things that we show. We need variety and examples to show why are this, what's this thing for us? When you say random, I have no idea what random is. All I know is if your unconscious and your conscious mind are not in alignment, there is no amount of random or no random things like I talk about here. They all lead to one place, and that is who are you and what are the beliefs behind that version of you that you get to show up for your goals. You get to show up for your role, for your whatever that is. So everything we talk about here is leading to that same tune. It might be random because you're not following every single video, or you're not, well, when you come here, I'm talking about a different aspect of the thing, but it all boils down to who are you? What is that identity that is showcasing? Because your desires and your beliefs, if they're not on par, nothing's going to happen. And the people I work with are so capable, they're so skillful, they know their stuff. At the same time, there is something that is holding them from truly showing up. There is something that is making them not be in their fullest state. So it might sound like random, but we move on. For YouTube, we'll just let it stay. We're not editing nothing here. This is just part of the flow, how we get to keep showing up. Getting back into today's video, we've talked about what we're rehearsing. We've talked about emotions that is connected to how we show up. And the next thing that it's like when we start doing this, we start getting familiar. You see, so it's as we're doing it, our nervous system's like, oh yeah, like for me with this YouTube thing, right? It's like, oh, I'm someone who just does this, who shoots a video. It is. When you look at the very first one I did, say 9 months ago to where I am now, the very beginning, I had no idea how to end a video. It became like, oh yeah, how did in my head, I didn't say it out loud, but you could just see my mannerism, like, how do you end this? How do you, how to say like, oh yeah, bye. When you stop feeling like a costume when you have repeated something enough, when you have decided and gotten the awareness of this is how I want to show up, and then you start acting and being in that way, it then longer becomes so conscious. It just becomes who you are. When you're learning to drive a car, you're very, especially if you're learning and going to be tested, you're mindful. Okay, first check brakes, mirror, like brakes in on neutral. This as if it's a manual car, whatever. Like you are very conscious of every single thing. It's like everything on my seatbelt in, like this, like whatever that is. You're very into it. So it feels like, okay, I have to, it feels like mundane in a way. I have to do this. As you keep learning and learning, and then you pass, and then you keep going, it becomes doom, 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 and you're off. Basically, you just get in, like look, you don't even have to move your head to look. Like your eye peripheral vision, sometimes you're just like there, you're off because now you've embodied how the movement in the car. And sometimes you're like, how did I even get home? I don't even remember the route I took, but I'm here. That's what we talk about familiarity. That initially becomes so conscious of like you're now taking and doing this new behavior that it's like it feels like hard work. Imagine like you're looking and then you're turning a gear or whatever, or like putting a checking testing to see how much gas you need and this and all that. Feels like, oh my gosh. I'd rather just let someone be a passenger seat or just take the transport bus, car, whatever. And the more you do it, it's like, oh yeah, I've gotten the rhythm now. I know how much gas I need to give. I know how much this. I know how like what gear when I'm going up hill, and what I get to do. The familiarity then happens there. But it's having that understanding that if we now have that the awareness of what is that thing that's holding us back, right? From really showcasing ourselves. And then now we're doing the reps, taking the reps in, doing the thing. But initially it comes out conscious, like we're so into it. And then with reps, so and then celebrating it and really enforcing it. The more we keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, oh, like wow, you are that now. You're she, you're them, you're that. Because you don't become her, them, it all at one time. You don't go to the gym all of a sudden like you got in a six pack. You become, it becomes familiar. You start learning the ways. You start celebrating one step at a time. And over time, as you keep showing up, as you keep doing your thing, and you never stop until being that version you are trying to become. You're not longer trying. You are it. You just are this version of it, of self. It's no longer like a conscious thing. When people that know me back when I was in like secondary school or whatever, or I see family members I haven't seen in years and they see me now, they're like, oh wow. I remember you as this shy human being. I remember an interaction I when I was still um college at the time and I worked in a one of the big supermarkets here. And back then I was so in my shy era that for the longest time, I could not have eye contact with people when I'm talking to them. I was so familiar with their shoe. I knew what kind of like shoe styles people wore than what they actually looked like. When people were saying names and stuff, I had no idea. I met up, in my travels and in what I do, going from one place to another in terms of my interpreting and stuff. I met someone who just saw me. I was like, hi. And like, when you meet someone and they know you but you don't know of them and you just keep talking and then as you're talking they're expecting you to catch on like we know each other from somewhere else or we've met somewhere stuff like that and you're still in the you don't know but they know that was the scenario And it was just kind of like, hi, we got talking. It was like, oh, okay, you don't remember me, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I do apologize that no, I don't. I don't remember you. It's like we used to work together. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So where? Because I've worked in so many places. And then she mentioned the supermarket. I was like, oh yes, I remember working there. Or do I remember her? No. So I just had to apologize. I'm like, I'm really sorry, but yes, I'm there. I'm sure yeah, we definitely would have worked together, but I don't remember you. I don't remember. She even said her sister worked there as well. I'm like, I don't even remember your sister either. She called, I don't. And she said, I know, it's okay. I know you were so shy then. I'm like, oh my goodness. That yeah, that she totally get that. And this is the thing. She just like when she said that, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, cool. Like it is a thing. Someone actually said to me, like, look, we saw how shy you were back then, right? So it's okay. I remember how like her and the sister were like we'll talk back then, whatever. But she said, yeah, I remember you were this shy person, so it's all good. And this is what I'm talking about. Like when you now have that decision of this is how things are gonna be, right? And you start doing the work to get familiar and start adding, emotional significant events to it. So you can create your own emotional significant event. A lot of the time we tend to have negative emotional significance. If something happens, oh, um, like one of my negative emotional significant event was where I was back in school and I was, you know, I did a work and then that work wasn't in my head. I thought I was a bomb. I did good, but the what I wrote wasn't what I thought I wrote. And the teacher was like, no, 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 no. What you wrote is like rubbish. And everyone else was just laughing at me. And I just wanted to disappear. See, then I didn't know I was dyslexic. So in that situation, I just like wanted to hide. And I've been hiding ever since. So that was an emotional significant event for me that caused me to want to shrink, that caused me to want to be invincible and stuff like that. And we can also create significant emotional event for the things that we desire by creating and doing things like how we embody this new emotion, like new identity for self, this thing that we're trying to create. We can make that happen. We can do it through music, or we can do it through anchoring, or like be like creating the identity for self. I'm doing it, which we talked about in the series earlier than this one. Not series earlier than this one. In the earlier episode of this series. And yeah, how we get to just create that for self. So right now, you have to make a decision. You have a decision to make. And whatever you decide, you see, the decision is the rep, is the rehearsal, is the teaching of your nervous system something new, this new thing that you want to embody to self. Because you can rehearse doing nothing and you still, life's life, and you just keep on like just how things are for you right now. You just rehearse doing that, and your nervous system will get very good at that. And that's if that's how you want to roll, then that's how we roll. Like you can rehearse that. You can also rehearse figuring out alone, like with everything we've talked about today and what I've shared. You can figure out, because some people do. Some people, they hear the message is like, okay, now this is it. Like I shared where someone said, look, your the videos are just like, yeah, my supervision. I figured like she's doing great, and she is like thriving just watching the videos and like saying, okay, this is what's landing for me and this is what's showing up. That's good. Catching yourself without you drifting. And the thing is, most people end up rehearsing the old version when they start doing it by themselves and start trying to figure out, because of there is in that the accountability or whatever, and they don't even realize they're back into that old rehearsal of self. Or you can rehearse getting the support, working through it properly with someone who has already become familiar with the other side. And if that's you and you're wanting that support, comment the identity or DM me identity in the comment section. DM me in the wherever DM goes into, or just comment identity on it and let's talk about it. Let's figure out how we can make sure that you're rehearsing the right stuff, that we're doing the thing that we get to do. And if you have not done so already, subscribe, click on the notification button so that you never miss out when I show, because we do this every single day. And when it lands, you'll be one of the first to know. This series we're doing at the Freelancer Mind, which is, we're just getting started. And yeah, I'm Nene. We do this every single day. Remember that your voice matters and it is your time to use it. Bye for now.